Welcome to the Shifting Inward podcast, where we explore the mindset blocks that keep entrepreneurs stuck. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions drive your success. When you shift what's happening internally, everything externally starts to move. Hi, I'm Joe Risk, and in this episode, we're discussing the comparison trap. That feeling that everyone else is ahead of you, more successful, more talented, and you're somehow falling behind. Let's get into it. What is the comparison trap? The comparison trap is when you measure your progress, your success, your worth against someone else's highlight reel. It's scrolling through social media and thinking, they have it all figured out. What am I even doing? It's seeing another entrepreneur hit a milestone you're working toward and feeling like you're not good enough, like you're moving too slow, like maybe you're just not cut out for this. And here's the thing, comparison doesn't motivate you, it paralyzes you. Instead of focusing on your own path, you're constantly looking sideways, wondering why you're not where they are. Or better yet, you're wondering, why aren't you where you want to be? So you question your decisions. You second guess your strategy, your pricing, your messaging. And not because anything's wrong with it, but because it doesn't look like theirs. The comparison trap is sneaky because it disguises itself as research or inspiration. You tell yourself you're just checking out the competition or seeing what someone else is working on. But if you walk away feeling inadequate instead of energized, that's not inspiration. That's comparison stealing your confidence. And the worst part, it keeps you stuck. You're so busy looking at what everyone else is doing that you stop building what's uniquely yours. You lose sight of your own vision, your own strengths, your own progress. You become a follower in your own business instead of the leader that you're meant to be. So what does the comparison trap actually look like in your business? Maybe you're scrolling Instagram and see someone launching a program, hitting 6 figures, or celebrating a big win. And instead of feeling inspired, you feel defeated. You think, I should be there by now. You start questioning your timeline, your strategy, and even your ability to make this work. Maybe you hesitate to post your work because you're comparing it to someone with a bigger following, a prettier feed, or a more polished content. You think, mine doesn't look as good. Why even bother? So you don't post at all. You stay invisible because you're waiting for your work to measure up to someone else's standard. Or maybe you second guess your pricing because someone else is charging less or charging more. And you think, who am I to charge that much? Or maybe I should be charging more. Either way, you're not pricing based on your value. You're pricing based on what you think you should be doing compared to them. Here's the big one. You start copying what others are doing instead of building something that feels like you. You see someone's strategy working and think, I need to do that too, even if it doesn't align with your strengths or your vision. You abandon what was working for you because you assume their way must be better. Maybe you downplay your own wins because they don't seem as impressive as someone else's. You hit a goal you've been working toward, could be your first paid client, your first 1K month, your first product launch. But instead of celebrating, you think, yeah, but so-and-so did that years ago, so it's not that special. You rob yourself of the joy because you're measuring your milestone against their milestone. And here's what happens over time. You stop trusting yourself. You stop listening to your instincts. You become reactive instead of intentional. Every decision you make is filtered through, what would they do? Instead of, what do I actually want? And the worst part, you forget that you're comparing your behind the scenes to their final product. You're comparing your chapter 3 to their chapter 30. You're comparing your private struggles to their public success. It's not a fair comparison, but your brain doesn't care. It just sees the gap and tells you you're falling short. So, why does this happen? Where did this come from? A lot of comparison starts with how you consume information. Social media is designed to show everyone's wins, not their struggles. You see the launch, you don't see the late nights, the failed attempts, the doubt they pushed through to get there. You don't see the years of groundwork, the investment they made, the lessons they learned the hard way. You just see the polished result, and your brain assumes it came easy for them. For entrepreneurs, there's another layer. You're building something from scratch, and there's no clear roadmap. No one is telling you if you're doing it right or if you're on track. So you look around for proof that it's possible. And when you see someone ahead of you, instead of seeing possibility for yourself, you see evidence that you're behind. You see their success as proof of your inadequacy. And here's the deeper truth. Comparison often comes from a place of insecurity. When you're not fully confident in your own path, it's easy to let someone else's success make you question yours. And when you're unclear about your direction, you start looking for validation outside yourself. And every time you see someone else winning, it triggers that doubt. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should be doing what they're doing. There's also this. We live in a culture that glorifies hustle and speed. We're told that if you're not growing fast, you're failing. If you're not hitting milestones on someone else's timeline, you're falling behind. That pressure creates fertile ground for comparison to take root. But here's what you need to understand. Their success is not your failure. Someone else winning doesn't mean you're losing. There are more than enough clients and opportunities to go around. Someone else's success doesn't limit yours. The market isn't a race where one person gets to the finish line. It's big enough for all of us to build something meaningful. So how do you actually get out of the comparison trap? First, curate your feed. Seriously, unfollow, mute, or take a break from accounts that consistently leave you feeling defeated or not good enough. You're allowed to protect your peace. This isn't about avoiding success stories or shutting out inspiration. It's about being honest with yourself about what's helping you and what's hurting you. If scrolling leaves you feeling defeated more than motivated, that's a sign. Follow people who inspire you without making you feel inadequate. Follow people who remind you what's possible, not what you're lacking. Second, track your own wins. Keep a list, weekly or monthly, of what you've accomplished. Client wins, content you created, decisions you've made, progress you've seen. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe you finally sent that email you've been putting off. Maybe you show up consistently for a week. Write it down. When comparison creeps in, go and read it. Remind yourself how far you've come. Your progress might not look like theirs, but it's real and it matters. Third, get back to your own lane. What are you building? What do you want? What lights you up? The more you focus on your own vision, the less space there is for comparison to take root. When you're clear on your direction, other people's paths become less distracting. You can appreciate what they're doing without feeling like you need to copy or compete with them. And finally, practice gratitude for where you are. I know this sounds simple, but it's powerful and it works. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance. It reminds you that you're already building something meaningful, even if it's not finished yet. When you catch yourself comparing, pause, ask yourself, is this helping me grow, or is it just making me feel small? Then redirect your focus back to your own path. You're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be. If this resonated, drop a comment and share your story. Have you struggled with comparison in your business? What helped you break free from it?